Hello and welcome to Big Brother, the house. 25 years, we're celebrating 25 years of the show that changed TV forever. Are we excited to be here? Yeah. Good, well, I'm excited to be here. We appreciate you here. It's great to have you with us.
Right here.
Yes. So we are celebrating 25 years in the Big Brother house. Would you believe it's been 25 years since we watched that brilliant series? And since then, as you know, audiences have really not seen anything quite like it. In many ways, it set the bar for a new era of reality TV, holding a mirror up to society by bringing social issues to mainstream audiences. As you know, the show's provided some of the most talked about TV moments from the past couple of decades, and it's seen more than its fair share of controversies, which is something that we'll dig a little bit deeper into later on. Today, though, the show is a worldwide phenomenon with 70 adaptations, over 600 seasons and 36,000 episodes produced globally. It continues to enthrall audiences around the world and has an enduring impact on the industry. So this session, we're going to explore how the show has shaped TV, and we'll also ask what's next for Big Brother. So welcome. I'm Hebden. I'm a broadcaster, and I'm also the founder of Wonder Women, which is a transformational women's network, which is all about elevating diverse women in television, film and the creative industries. And I'm delighted to be sat next to four iconic, brilliant people who've played significant roles in Big Brother over the years. So first up, please welcome Phil Edgar-Jones. Legend. Phil essentially launched the original series of Big Brother. He oversaw Big Brother in its Channel 4 years, and he now works as the Executive Director of Unscripted Originals at Sky. Next, we have Katy Manley. Katy's worked on Big Brother since 2004, starting as a task assistant producer on the show. She's now working as the Managing Director of its production company, Initial. Next to Katy, we have Natalka Znak. Natalka's been instrumental in relaunching Big Brother on ITV, and she's also the CEO across Remarkable, Initial and ZnakTV. Yeah. And finally, here's a face I'm sure you'll all recognise, Angellica Bell. Broadcaster and recent Celebrity Big Brother 2025 contestant, and didn't she do well? Well, it's great to have you all with us and great to have you in the room as well. Just to let you know, you can submit your questions for this session via the TV Festival app. Just select the fin tree and we'll weave them in after our chat. And we're going to talk now for about 45 minutes. So let's jump straight into it. Okay, Angellica, we'll come to you first. Many people here have seen you on screen for 25 years. Are you celebrating that anniversary yourself?
Don't look at it. That's what you're thinking. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, what do you got on your face? It's fabulous. Do you remember the buzz around Big Brother when it first launched?
Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, celebrating 25 years being in my job and the career, and also celebrating with Big Brother, was one of the main reasons why I really wanted to go into the house anyway, because I think the show is so iconic and I've been a huge fan from day one. And when I started CBBC, I think my contract started in February. And then there was this massive buzz, you know. So not only was I on CBBC, where there was not many channels, as we all know, and it was getting millions of viewers, we had this huge sort of new reality TV show starting. And, you know, at the BBC, it was like, what is this going to be about? And I was young then. So interested in that sort of thing and new ideas. And also, as well, the papers, that's what we had. We didn't have social media, so it was constantly in the papers. The build-up was insane. And so when it hit, it was like, whoa, this is nuts. I remember watching the first one going, are these, whoever came up with this?
Well, we can do the origin story.
Oh, yeah. Is insane, but it was iconic, and I think it set the pathway for more reality TV, and shifted the way we view television and what we expected and how we wanted to be entertained.
Absolutely. And in the early noughties, you know, reality TV, it wasn't really on people's radars.
No.
I mean, when you think about it, we'd seen shows in the US like The Real World. In the UK, we had The Family, do you remember, on Channel 4? But it wasn't anywhere near as popular as it is today. Interestingly, a poll done by the Radio Times in 2001 ranked reality TV at the bottom of the list. So it's quite extraordinary how it's grown over the years. Now, Phil, you have a wealth of fascinating stories about Big Brother.
I'm not going to tell you any.
Oh, you are today. Come on. Can you tell us about the Big Brother UK's origins?
So I mean, Big Brother was a Dutch format, right? It was first broadcast on Dutch TV, and it was an instant hit. It was absolutely phenomenal. It got something like a 90% share of viewing when people used to measure share of viewing. And so it was, and then it was a company called Basil at the time, run by Peter Bazalgette, who has gone on to bigger and better things after Big Brother. But there was a bit of a bidding war between ITV, BBC, and Channel 4 at the time. And the guy in charge of Channel 4 at the time was a guy called Tim Gardam, and he got it. He got the show immediately and thought of it as a social experiment, although the originators of the programme always thought of it as a game show. And it was the tabloids that coined the term reality TV. I don't think anybody else on the team, described it like that at all. Described it as a game show. And if you remember the first series, the contestants used to sing, it's only a game show. So it was really established as that. And then it's kind of, I think, something, as Angellica said, it was the days before social media and all these sorts of things, but it was at the very birth of the internet, actually. And for the first time you had the sort of technology available to do it, pretty good idea, and the internet, which was just getting established. It was the first time when, Nasty Nick did his little bit of cheating, that people would be gathered around their computers in the office, sort of watching it in more or less in real time. So it was the first sort of example of streaming. So it was a sort of incredibly innovative thing at the beginning. And it was only really, it was only in Holland, and I think we were the second territory to take it. And the Dutch had to come across and almost have an exact, you'll remember this, Claire, weren't you? The exact template of the Dutch version of it, with the same music, the same graphics, the same everything, which there wasn't a sense that you created it for your own local sensibility at that point. And then luckily for everybody on the team, they got distracted by America, and off they went to America to create Big Brother there. So the team at the time, I wasn't involved in the first series, Claire was over there, and Ruth Wrigley and people like that, then were able to sort of make it in the British image, and that's when I think it got really successful, and then they sort of got it, and every territory sort of modelled it according to their own sort of cultural values, if you like. Yeah.
It had chickens, didn't it? In the early days, and people could read books and play instruments.
Yeah, right.
And
Rages.
Took them all away.
Actually, the other thing that was incredibly innovative about it was that it gave the audience control. It was the first show to do that as well, actually. And so when you mentioned the chickens, it's interesting because I remember in Big Brother 3, voting wasn't enough for people, the housemates. As soon as somebody looked sideways at a chicken, the RSPCA would be down there, like within minutes, honestly. So you can do what you like to people, chickens.
Don't touch the animals. Yeah. Natalka, let's come to you, because what was it like to launch new formats at the time, and how do people kind of engage, and how did you make people care about these shows when people didn't really get reality TV?
Well, I am going to make an admission now. I didn't watch the first series because, I'll tell you why, I was so insanely jealous that I wasn't making it and wasn't part of it. It literally nearly killed me because it was just so brilliant and it was such a hit. And but I mean, yeah, TV was different then. It was things like driving school and that kind of thing, where you had reality stars, but in a different way. But there was nothing like this, and obviously it then went on to influence my entire career. We then created I'm a Celebrity, on the Big Brother model, but in a jungle. Love Island was created when ITV said, this thing is dominating the summer, what can we do? And I remember saying, well, they can't be in bikinis all the time. Let's put everybody on an island. But, I then began to become head of reality. Just everything. Everything changed from there, and the way we made TV, reality, unscripted, it spawned everything. Yeah, but I couldn't watch it. I'm still jealous.
Remember the same time Castaway was launched?
Oh yeah.
So they had Castaway at BBC, and I suppose, and that was brilliant actually, and that was kind of a different kind of reality prospect, wasn't it? But they launched it and then left it a year to do anything. So people kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then Big Brother just went,
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lesson there, isn't there?
well, didn't he wait? Crack on.
To Big Brother, obviously it quickly became the biggest show on British TV. The launch episode actually drew in 7.7 million viewers. The series averaged 4.6 million, and the final episode more than doubled that number, peaking at 9.5 million viewers, which is huge, huge. Phil, what did it feel like to produce a show like that just generated so much success?
It was brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah?
Of course it is. Like, I mean, if you're doing the show, as a broadcaster now, and all the broadcasters, you want to generate talkability. That's your obsession, in a way. And I remember actually Big Brother 3, I was on the tube going up to King's Cross to get the train to Elstree, and literally everybody on the carriage was reading something about Big Brother, whether it was Heat or the Daily Mirror and stuff. We had the anti-Big Brother correspondent on the Daily Mirror. It completely dominated conversations, and it stimulated a lot of interesting conversations. It was kind of permission to gossip about people without, fear of being caught out, because you were looking at people's behaviour and judging yourself against them and your friends against them. But it was just, I mean, some of it, and we might talk about that later. You wish people would stop talking about it, but at that stage, it was just something else.
Well, in the first series, of course, we met these brilliant 11 standout housemates, but we also had a new TV star, the Big Brother house itself. Interestingly, it was the house that came to define Fixed Rig as a format, with multiple cameras, different rooms, the diary room where housemates could obviously confess and, share their woes in a private space, although nothing's ever private in that house. Clearly ahead of its time, like we said about the different shows, Love Island, One Born Every Minute. Katy, can you tell us a bit more about the importance of the Big Brother house and what it represents?
Yeah, I mean, the house, as you say, this confessional space of the diary room is just, it was I think, spawned in Big Brother and is spun out into all reality shows. It gives people this area to come and talk and share their innermost thoughts and give viewers an access into what they're thinking and feeling. And I think that's really, really iconic. But also, it's really evolved. The house has evolved so much over the years. If you look back at Series 1, I mean, it looks a little bit like a Young Offenders Institute, no offence. And it's very bare bones. It's really, really utilitarian. Dare I say it, rather ugly. And then it's sort of evolved, and every year, every series, we reinvent the house, and we also reinvent the graphics. I think that's quite unique. I don't think there's many shows that have different graphics and redo the set every series. But I think what I've found is that it can really inform the psychology and the tone of the programme. And I think in some years, we've had quite harsh, dramatic, different sort of versions of the set, and that sort of seems to have steered the programme in a certain direction where it's been more full of conflict or anger, and then other ones it's been a sort of peaceful, happy space, and that really does seem to have informed the sort of tone and psychology of the housemates. And I just think it is actually another character like Big Brother. The house is a really important part of it. And, when you're sort of relaunching a series twice a year at least, you need to have something as well to market. And, the graphics and the set of the house are important. And that becomes their whole world. And the fact that you're cut off in this space, that's really unique, I think.
And wasn't the first house really tiny compared to now?
Yeah.
Scaled it in size. It's certainly got brighter and more colourful, hasn't it?
Yes, definitely. And sometimes it's been very kind of gaudy. Sometimes it's more pared back. It changes, and I think that kind of gives each series. I mean, the housemates obviously give the series, make it different every time. That's why it's lasted so long, because it's a different show every time, and the house feeds into that. But most importantly, the housemates, of course.
It was interesting seeing the show reel there with all the different eyes, because did you find that looking at certain eyes, it reminded you of certain series that really resonated with you? It's very nostalgic seeing all of that.
Every element of the show is super important, because what you're doing, what you're striving to do, and what it did brilliantly, Big Brother, was it had its own internal logic. So when you think about it, Nasty Nick cheating, writing down things, who gives a shit, really? But because it broke the format, then it was super important in a way. And we were always very mindful to stick to that and really be, strict about it. So we didn't cheat. I'd love to
have been a fly on the wall when that happened in your office.
I rewatched that clip recently. I mean, He literally wrote a note. It was like, is that all he did? It was such a scandal. Sorry, Angellica, what, I want to ask you, because I've never asked you this, what is it actually like being in there?
It's funny when you talk about the diary room, and I think that is one of the safest spaces in there. You are exposed, and Big Brother, genuinely to this day, will probably be one of my best friends. And you're right, it's the psychology of it, because you go in there and you think, this I can create some sort of normality in here. I'm talking to someone who can reason with me and make me see maybe I'm seeing something wrong, or you can have a laugh with. But it was, I remember, because I said to you, I remember being in the car, and I knew I was going in. I didn't tell anyone. Actually, the only person I told, obviously my family, but was Alan Carr.
Oh, we love
And I rang him and I said, oh my gosh, I've had the email. And he goes, babe, don't do it. Well, that's because he's a good mate of mine, right? And I remember he put the phone down, and then he rang me back and he goes, no, actually, you need to do it. People need to see who you are. Yeah. And that's what he said. So, but until I actually got out the car, and I remember seeing you, Natalka, so we were all in our cars, you don't know who's going to go in, and the cars slowly move forward. Everything's in slow-mo. Because, like we said, we're celebrating 25 years. It's to show that we've seen, whether you've seen a whole series, one episode and stuff, it's iconic. And I was scared. And I remember, so the drive, I get in the car and I start talking to my driver, who was absolutely lovely. I remember him to the day I die. And we're talking, we just started talking about random stuff. And he goes, I'm going to drive up, I'm going to play your VT, and you've got to get out. And I'm like, and I start talking to him like he's Big Brother. I'm like, well, what have I done? He's like, you'll be fine. I remember I get out and I speak to him and I think I say thank you. And then I look at the other security guy for help. I look into his eyes. And I'm still ignoring the noise. I can't hear anything. It's like, and he goes, and he was lovely. He said, go for it.
Oh, right.
And then I go in and you walk in and you see AJ and Will, who are lovely. And then once the door's shut behind you, walk out, once the door's shut, you're done, you're gone. And it is just the most surreal, and it's emotional even hearing the music for me, because it was like, there's no turning back. Yeah.
And what was it like for you? Because you came across so positively.
I think I didn't go in with any expectations necessarily, but just to enjoy it. I wanted to embrace every single moment of it. I wanted to relinquish control. And in a way, I wanted Big Brother to play with me. For me, it was almost going back 25 years when I started at CBBC. You know, that moment where TV changed, where my life changed. And every day on CBBC, I went and I had a laugh. And ultimately, I think Big Brother is about a laugh. It is an experiment. It is about, I think it's almost like a microcosm of how the world is. Being put into an environment, a vacuum, with people you wouldn't necessarily talk to, reach out to, rub shoulders with. And it's how you learn to adapt and respect other people who, you know, have been raised differently, have different experiences that shape the way they think, why they're thinking the way they do. But yeah, it was mad. And sometimes, even like now, I will sleep and I'll wake up and I think I'm in the Big Brother house.
No way, it stayed with you all that time.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Wake up screaming.
Babe, no. And Patsy next to me.
When you think that you bonded with Big Brother in that diary room, and so for that producer, whoever it was,
Yeah.
to you, that knowing that is really quite special.
That's the only place in there, I suppose, that you have this non-partisan voice.
Yeah.
It's like a counselling session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it
It's
is.
based on that
Yeah.
idea that
Because
you wouldn't give answers, you'd encourage person.
100%. And sometimes, I mean, I haven't looked back, I haven't watched it back, but I said things to Big Brother that I haven't even told my mates.
You have now.
Oh, God.
Oh my goodness, amazing, amazing. Now, as we know with fame, you know, we get the increased scrutiny and at times unwelcome public opinion. In the early noughties, welfare wasn't really, you know, it wasn't anywhere near where it is today, is it? I mean, thankfully it's improved significantly. Katy, maybe you can tell us how in many ways Big Brother was ahead of the curve with welfare and well-being, and I'd love you to talk a bit more about how you managed that.
I mean, welfare has always been on the agenda from the very start, and you know we've set so many processes in place. It's a constantly evolving thing for us. We don't just say this is our process. Every single series we look at it and we evolve it, and obviously Phil can speak to it as well. But from the beginning, we have been tried to be ahead of the curve. You know, there's been a psychologist involved since the beginning. We really also just try and make it an accessible place to be and give people the support they need. That's what we try and do. And, you know, in the industry, there's things like the talk of doom that's referred to, which is just trying to sort of ensure that people are giving informed consent. Because obviously, even though the show is very, very well known, we just try and explain to people, if you want something in particular out of it, like fame or fortune, then it most likely won't deliver that for you. And we want people to go into that with sort of realistic expectations. And obviously the advent of social media has made it even harder to kind of look after people. But we do, we really try hard to kind of provide support in that area for people. And in terms of kind of going into the house, we want it to be a place where anybody can go in, and we were talking earlier about Trisha Goddard, who really isn't very well, and we were able to make the house support her care needs at this stage in her treatment and things, and she was happy in the way that we did that. And we want anybody to go into that house. That's sort of the essence of Big Brother, that anybody could be in there. And that's the beauty of the format. You don't have to be able to sing, you don't have to be single, you just have to be interesting, you just have to be an interesting person. And so that should mean that the house is accessible to anyone, and that's what we endeavour to do.
On the back of the welfare, I one of the things I say in press when I'm asked about it is I say that your welfare is on point.
Good.
There's no stone that goes unturned. I mean, you literally, I felt secure. Even if something did go wrong, I knew that the production would look after us, would look after me. Okay, I'm going to speak for myself. And even leading up to it, I felt in the know. I knew what was happening. I knew what my expectations were. It was made very clear what we were going into. But even afterwards, I've still got contact with the show. We had people to talk to because, you don't realise you're in a bubble, and some people can't adapt when they come out. They need that support. They're thinking that we're a little bubble. They want that bubble in life, and then it's gone, and all that focus can be quite disarming for people. But contact, messages.
So the aftercare.
The aftercare was amazing.
And Trisha Goddard personally shared with me actually how well you managed her palliative care, so she could actually take part and really enjoy it, which I thought was quite extraordinary actually, that you can maintain that while they're participating in the show.
Well, I'm glad to hear. I mean, obviously we don't always get it right. We just try, and I think that's the main thing, is that we listen to people's experiences, and every series we interrogate what we're doing, and we've got a very experienced team of experts in all the different fields who advise and feed into that, and we just take advice on that and try and listen.
But things have changed from the early days, not just on Big Brother, but on all reality shows, like the amount of drinking and all of that used to go on early Love Island and everything. That doesn't happen anymore. Things have changed from those original days, haven't they?
Yeah, sure.
Now, let's get to the nitty-gritty. I want to know who your favourite housemates have been and why.
Oh, you starting with me?
Absolutely.
I could do one a series. No, Jade. Jade.
Oh, yes, she's
phenomenal.
great,
And Nikki, actually, Graham.
Yeah.
So they were, if I had to pick a favourite, they were just sparkly. Jade was an interesting one because you'd sort of never really quite seen anybody so unfiltered like her on TV before. And she went on an incredible journey in a way that she was almost booted out in the first week. And it was sort of the first time we'd ever did a sort of twist around nominations. So the housemates chose who left, and it was between her and somebody else called Lynn, and Lynn left. And then she became the most hated person in Britain. and then she became the most loved person in Britain. So it was kind of an interesting
went
journey.
on the roller coaster
And she
with
was funny, and she's really savvy. You know, she's brilliant. I loved her.
And then Nikki,
Nikki was
complete opposite.
again, and sadly neither of them are any longer with us.
Sad,
But
isn't it?
no, Nikki was she was really lovely as well. Nikki, she was a great character,
Yeah.
and just very funny housemate.
Katy, favourite housemate and why?
I feel like this is a rat's nest that's going to involve loads of phone calls complaining to me after this.
I'll be ringing you, Katy.
I don't know. A random one was Jedward, who I just thought was so... They are actually unsung geniuses. They are absolutely brilliant. They're brilliant.
Yeah. Natalka?
Well, yeah, everyone. Jade was really special. I think I loved Chantal when she went in as the fake celebrity.
Yeah.
That was really, really amazing.
That was good fun. It was
watch,
playing with fame. That was an interesting little experiment. George Galloway, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then Angellica?
This is hard. Maybe civilian, I think Nikki, and it's funny because, you know, at that time, doing CBBC the early years, you know, I'd see Nikki out and about and she would give me so much jokes.
Really?
Oh my gosh, she'd be at a party and be like, babe. I was like, I love you. She was great. So maybe Nikki, and then celebrity-wise, Jackie.
Yeah.
Oh my
Jackie.
goodness, yeah.
That was a moment
That
when...
one, don't they? Do you know who my faves are?
Go on.
Narinda and Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved
Brian
their
was great.
friendship that just blossomed. And I actually cried when they were reunited when she'd been booted out, because you could see that friendship was so genuine.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it, how certain characters really stay with you?
Yeah.
Well, characters, real people. Is there
Jackie
anything
was a
that you...
funny one, you know. With one, I remember a little thing. It's just a slight side note, but she was in bed and she hadn't moved for about 2 hours. And I thought, shit, she's dead.
God, she's dead.
She's Jackie's still and we've killed her. So we sent a runner into the camera run. And said, she's breathing. It's okay.
Oh my
That was
goodness,
brilliant.
that's brilliant. Is there anything that you would have done differently from a producer's perspective in hindsight?
Me? You?
No, you.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I tell you what became an issue for us actually, and I think around the Nikki Graham year actually, the series was too long because I suppose Channel 4 got slightly addicted to it because it was it did good ratings, it was commercially really, really successful, but from a producing point of view, it got harder and harder to sustain. So, I mean, and Claire, you'll remember this, I made a big mistake.
What did you do?
Well, we did this thing where we put some housemates back into the house, right? And Claire and Paul were vociferously against it, and I nagged on at them to do it, and sort of jumped the shark. And it was my fault, and I think that was that. And I think that there was a point then that you kind of, when the hand of the producer was a bit more evident, you kind of lost a bit of trust with the audience. So, and I think that would be, I took full responsibility, Claire, 15 years later, for making that mistake. Yeah, I'm still friends.
You put Nikki back.
We put Nikki back in. So it was an audience vote to put somebody back in, but they'd already voted her out. So it was we were kind of cheating the audience. So
Yeah, but she was worth putting back.
she was, but and it, you know, spiking the ratings. But I think you kind of longer term lost a bit of trust.
Yeah, well,
So I
that's a
think
good
that's
producer note, though, isn't it, for producers in the room
Yeah.
watching? What about when you reflect about certain characters that you had in the house who, you know, caused a lot of controversy? Say, for instance, Mickey Rourke or Stephen Bear. You know, would you do that again? Would you have those kind of characters
Mickey
in the
Rourke.
house?
I think you have to just, you know, the casting, you put so much work into who goes into that house, and it's not just plink plonk everybody in. You want it to be a really amazing cast that ignites with loads of different personalities, and you know, you don't necessarily cast for conflict, but you want to have different voices in there, and you want it to be interesting. You want different people represented. You know, you want all these things, and you know, everybody who goes in is genuinely, you know, you spend a lot of time thinking about what is that alchemy, what is going to make that cast ignite and be really a fascinating group of people to watch. So you know, I do think some people, the ones that I regret are the ones who are disappointing, not the ones who were interesting, I'd say.
Oh, I suppose you don't always know what people are going to say either. You could do the best.
You definitely don't know. You
the
definitely
true
don't
colours
know.
can come out, can't they? Natalka, you've just been in LA casting for this year, which is super exciting. You're not going to share anything about that with us, are you, or are you?
Well, no. This time last year, I went to LA and I met Jojo, who ended up being a great cast member. I mean, I think there's a great tradition in Big Brother, isn't there, of brilliant Americans in there, and that sort of bringing that quirkiness and that very un-Britishness in there. So I guess that's what we're always looking for, is like, you know, who is that character we can throw in with the British celebs.
To mix
Mickey.
So this is for next celebrity.
Yeah. So
Love
I
it.
was just having some meetings for
already
the next
happening.
celebrity. Yeah.
Exciting. We must talk, though, about the Jade and Shilpa and the Roxanne palette scandals, because they were both hugely significant moments that had everybody watching, everybody talking, everyone had an opinion. And to date, they remain Ofcom's second and third most complaint programmes of all time. So
What's the first?
we should have found that out, really.
What's the first?
Good Morning Britain.
Oh.
Good Morning Britain.
Was it?
Yeah. Well done, Kat. Love the speed there.
It just came to her. Good morning, Britain.
Yes.
What was the... Right, sorry. What was the complaint for Good Morning Britain?
Don't know.
Was it the...
Complaints over Oprah Winfrey's interview with Harry and Meghan. There we go.
Thanks for that. Top
She's just
facts.
fact-checking. She'll come back to us.
I love it.
But these were two massive, massive moments. What was it like for you being on the producing side?
Well, gosh, that was, it was pretty... It's a long time ago, so you have to forgive sort of slightly unreliable memory here, but you know, you see things in snapshots,
Literally,
don't
it's
you?
a long
But
time, 25 years.
it was pretty intense. Again, you can't predict these things, you can't see them coming. There was a bit of bullying going on. It was very sort of playground. Do you remember sort of Jade? Who was in the house? There was Jade, and she'd gone in as a kind of reality superstar, so she was sort of famous at that time. She also had her boyfriend with her and her mum, and they became the kind of bosses of the house, if you remember. You correct me if I'm wrong as I go through this. And so I think that sort of fed into a sense of entitlement there, and then she got into the little gang with Joe from S Club 7 and Danielle.
Lloyd.
And there was talking, obviously, behind Shilpa's back and using... It was interesting because they were using that kind of language that really undermines you on the basis of your race, but you can maybe pinpoint it as overtly kind of racist in her face, if you like. And of course, the audience started picking up on that. And
The microaggressions.
the microaggressions and all that. And it was interesting. A lot of people started talking about that. And it was in a way, it was an awful episode, but it stimulated a conversation that probably has to happen, and still has to happen. But then we kind of knew it was going to really explode. I got a phone call from a Sun journalist who was in India with Gordon Brown, who was Prime Minister at the time. And he phoned me up and said, Phil, it's just to warn you, there's a massive shitstorm coming your way because Gordon Brown's going to make a statement about he was asked about it by a journalist in India.
Right.
So he condemned the Big Brother. It was easy to do, just condemned it. And news helicopters, Kay Burley phoning me up, and then you're in kind of like, how do we manage this mode? And so certainly at that time we had Angela Jane at Channel 4, I think Danny Cohen, and you know they sort of took over the show, if you like. A broadcaster comes in and makes sure that we're telling the audience the truth about what's happening, but also trying to protect the people in the house as well, because we knew when Jade came out, she had a lot to face as well. So that was, we were in kind of full management mode at that point.
That's it. It's tricky, isn't it, having to make those executive decisions over what's shown and what's not shown when something blows up like
and the
that.
audience demand the truth, right?
Absolutely.
So, and you've got to be mindful of that as well. So.
I must say, when you're covering situations, particularly where there are housemates of colour and they're impacted negatively, like in Shilpa's experience, how do you ensure that the coverage is portrayed in a balanced way so that you know, further harm isn't caused to that individual?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a lot of conversations editorially with the broadcaster as well, because, like, going back to that point, you need to tell the truth, but you need to protect the people that are in the house as well. So there were certainly conversations as well that Big Brother had with Shilpa and with Jade that alerted them to the issue at the same time. But again, without trying to, the audience would get very angry if you were seen to steer people in certain directions as well. So you're trying to just navigate quite a lot of different things.
So it's happening so quickly.
And different needs, and it's happening in real time. And it's and look, I mean, once a tabloid story catches fire, it's out of control super quickly. There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to manage it.
Yeah, I mean, we do our best. We do our best to fairly depict what's happening, fairly depict the events in the house. That's our number one thing. We are showing the viewers what's happening, and we try and be non-partisan in that and to show accurately what's happening. We do also have a duty of care to the housemates. So it's a really, really fine balance, but ultimately we have to show what's happening. And we take advice on that, and we, go hand in hand with the broadcaster. We have a diversity and inclusion expert who we can consult, advisors, and we try and be. We try and do the best. We try and do the best we can. That's the thing. In every circumstance, we try and do our best, and we don't always get it right, but we learn and we continue to work on it.
We have a diverse producing cast, don't we?
Yeah.
So all voices behind the scenes, cutting and producing the show.
Which is great to hear. Let's talk about what makes reality TV unique, because Big Brother, as we've discussed, has always been a platform that's created these huge social moments, and it's been interesting to see how it's evolved over the years in terms of how it covers climate issues, political standpoints, gender identity. It's really moving on. Let's talk about how it creates an ability to cut through the noise, though, and confront those bigger issues in a way by creating that space to have those difficult conversations. Natalka, can you talk us through some of those?
Well, look, every year with every cast, it's the diversity of the cast and the diversity of the opinions that matter. And we're going through that conversation now. We're about to, I've just signed off on the civilian cast. And you are getting a range of political views, left to right, people are vegetarian, climate activists, people on the other side. And then we're anticipating then, what are those debates going to be like? Have we got, if something kicks off, have we got enough voices in the house who are able to represent what the other side of the argument is, whatever that argument is, whether it be politics, race, climate. You need to know you've got people capable of covering all points. And then it's, as Katy says, and then we sort of have to show it when it happens. But it's always interesting because you want to show it, you want the debates to happen. Sometimes they're really uncomfortable. And it's like, well, how much do you show is what people say is offensive. We had obviously a lot with Mickey Rourke. And the whole thing that happened when Angellica was in the house, which was interesting, and I don't know what it was like being there with him.
It was interesting because sometimes as well you forget that the viewer's watching it, but you might not have seen what the viewer's seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't be in all spaces at the same time, so something would be said and you'd be like, what's happened?
Yeah.
And so I'm the sort of person who, unless I've seen something myself, I'm not going to comment. So for me, Mickey, I think liked me, and we got on, and I found his story quite interesting. Again, I'm quite an inquisitive person, and I think that's one of the reasons why I went in there. And so I was finding out about him, whereas other people might not understand him because they're not asking those questions. So it's, again, that's what you're saying. You're looking for balance. You're looking for people who are going to challenge things. But I remember the time with Mickey, he said something, and I said, that's not cool. He goes, isn't that not good? I said, no. But I didn't need to have a long conversation with him. So as other people wanted to debate more, I'd be like, you're not doing that. Don't do that with Manley. Done.
You shut that down.
I just shut it down. But I think he responded to that. you know, and
Respected.
and that's why we, you know, connected. So I was sad, genuinely sad when he left, because also he, you know, as a viewer, I was in there as well as a viewer, because, you know, there were times where there was something funny. He might say something. We said something about the broccoli, you know, or whatever, and I was like at the table going, okay. You know, so inside I'm like, if I was at home, I'd be loving this. Look at but I'm not going to show a reaction because I don't need the heat on me. So, you know, so it was sad. But again, you're learning to navigate. He was brushing his teeth in the sink. I was like, mate,
Goodness. Yeah.
it's unhygienic. Go in the bathroom. You know? But I learned how to deal with him. But the way I spoke to Mickey wouldn't be necessarily the same way I spoke to, you know, Chris.
Yeah.
So
in a way, it's like Big Brother's, you know, it's all about teaching and learning together, isn't it? Creating that space for empathy and just to hear different viewpoints, but respect them.
Yeah.
And talk about things that are often uncomfortable, but just let them breathe. Because often in society, we don't really create that space.
No,
do we?
exactly.
We're scared of uncomfortable conversations now in a way that we weren't when we shouldn't be, probably. And it's good to create a space where you can have those respectfully. I think that's what Big Brother can do.
And people live in an echo chamber of social media that's reflecting their own views back to them and mix with people maybe like themselves. And that's what Big Brother's about, putting a different group of people together, different opinions. And it's the same for the viewers watching it. This might be a different person that they've haven't seen before, come across, and that might affront their views or learn something interesting. So it's sort of for the same as the housemates, as the viewers, really, hearing different opinions.
It's extraordinary. Honestly, the journey has been extraordinary. Despite all of this, 2024 was your biggest, most successful year yet. It's extraordinary, there is.
Really?
2024. You'd have thought it was years ago, but it was 2024. Best year yet for Big Brother. 35 series airing across 28 markets. Outstanding social engagement, reaching 230 million people on TikTok. It's absolutely bonkers. Why do you think people still tune into live TV and specifically Big Brother?
Well, you know what? Live TV is great, isn't it? And I think the viewers like to know that they're seeing something authentic. They know, you know, what they're watching has just happened, what they're going to watch tomorrow. You know, they need to tune in tomorrow to see, you know, what's changed overnight. They can still vote and affect and say the people like and they don't like. And I think, you know, that's weird, you know, it's an old show that weirdly feels quite modern because it's been doing it for a long time. So, you know, it's great that ITV brought it back. And yeah, long may it continue.
It's a soap opera as well. You're following these human stories, you're following these individuals, and you get really involved in the storylines that are real life storylines happening in that house. And you know, you can cover these big topics, but that's not why people tune in. You know, there is, you know, we did lots of stuff on climate and had a climate activist, and we've had, you know, done some great housemates. Yeah, Days, exactly. She was a climate activist, and we were able to do a really interesting task in the house around that. We've had a great trans winner, and, you know, there's just so many brilliant kind of areas covered.
Yeah,
but ultimately,
Jojo and Chris, come on.
Jojo and Chris.
The romance.
Relationship.
But yeah, but what I was going to say, you have all these topics covered, which is interesting, but I think ultimately people are tuning in for the human condition, relating to people, connections that are made, bonds, arguments, just life unfolding in front of them. And I think with a new cast every series, it's a different storyline, and that is why it has longevity, because it's a different series every time, and you're getting an insight into humanity every time.
Is there anybody that you haven't had in the house yet that you'd absolutely love?
Yeah, loads.
You've not had a royal in yet, have you?
Not yet.
You need a royal in.
Where you were in LA.
yeah.
It's okay.
Wasn't that be good?
We wish.
We'd love a royal. I'd love Kanye and his wife. That would be
goodness.
good. Gary Lineker, we tried to get last year. He wanted 4 million quid, but his price will come down. I know.
Whoa.
I know. I mean, look, there's
a
a million
transfer fee.
people. I know, there's a million people that you'd want to see in the house.
Okay. Well, we're going to...
I'd like to see you guys in the house.
Well, the doors have been locked and off we go, basically. We're all in.
I would get thrown out straight away. I'm pretty certain.
You'd be a great housemate, Natalka.
She would as well.
She
Right,
would.
we're going to weave in some of the questions that you guys have been submitting. So, interestingly, anonymously.
Oh, worrying.
Funny
worrying.
that.
Very
Okay,
worrying.
so first one is, where did the idea to live stream the house in downtime come from, and how do you think it changed the reality landscape?
I'll tell you exactly. So it was, in the first series it wasn't streamed, but it was on the, what you call the ring main at Channel 4. So they were all watching it at Channel 4. And Andrew Newman, it was, who used to run E4, he said, well, why don't we put that on the telly? And there was a big debate about it in the team. Some people were hugely against it because they thought that would just spoil the viewing. It would eat into the viewing figures or whatever for the main live show. What it did was actually just feed everything.
Yeah, it's quite
and they kept it on. It was hugely innovative. So that was it. And it was the first. It was Big Brother 2. That was the first time that live stream had happened. It was also the first example, I think, of a spin-off show as well. So we did Dermot's show, Big Brother's Little Brother. And that was the first time that had happened as well. So, yeah, that's the origin story of that one.
Love an origin story. Okay, next one for Angellica. When you look at your body of brilliant work in television, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave for the next generation of broadcasters and broadcasters of colour too?
Well, that's a good question, because I feel like I'm winging it. I've been winging it for 25 years. I don't know. Maybe that's why it was good that Big Brother saw something in me that I didn't necessarily see in myself and asked me to be part of the cast. And that that build up allowed me time to reflect and think, why would I go in there? What who am I? Even I don't even see myself as celebrity. So to be cast for Celebrity Big Brother I was like, whoa, this is insane. And I think when I was having the meetings and what the team were saying to me about, being on television when that iconic show started, that was a change of TV. And me being on CBBC at that time as well was also was impactful because there wasn't many black faces on screen as well. So and at the time, I guess I was just trying to work out myself on screen, maybe not in Big Brother, but also in the in CBBC studio. And I think there's a lot of parallels in that. And I'm very grateful for people who invested in me, especially in a time when there wasn't many people of colour on screen, and saw something in me then to develop me. So maybe it's optics. We talk about this, optics. I didn't feel I was doing anything impactful, but it's what people feed off and what they take from stuff, which is important, whether that's reality TV, where they see people that look like them, that have the same ideology as them, and that can resonate with them, and maybe that's with me. So there's a phrase that says sometimes people need to crawl so other people can run. And if I've helped other people and people of colour to go for their dreams, I'm immensely proud of that. But at the end of the day, it's everyone's own individual talent will get them to where they want to get to.
You're iconic, and we must applaud you because you just got an honorary doctorate for your impact. So well done. Okay, we've got another one. So someone in the room would like to know, what's the process and timeline for the set build?
At the moment, where we are is we've got a set standing, which is great environmentally, actually, because you're not using all those resources, taking it out and putting it down, and you basically have a kind of mood board of ideas, how you want it to look, and we try and take that into consideration with the graphics to give a unified look and feel to the series. So we sort of come up with ideas about what we want that to be. so mood boards are done of the house, and then more specific drawings, and we talk to the channel about that and work in conjunction with them about how it's looking, and then we kind of get down to even the dressing of what will the sofas be like, what's the dining room chair.
We all have a few arguments.
We all have our own opinions.
Yes. Yeah.
And the timeline is basically, it's kind of, we only sort of get in and start building on site maybe about 6 weeks beforehand, I think. Some of the build is done off-site and brought in, but the process starts quite a few months out. As I say, it's done hand in hand with the graphics and the overall look.
I only started doing Big Brother when it was on ITV, and it's the most incredibly exciting setup to go behind the scenes. And obviously I've done a lot of big TV shows, but there's nothing like it. It's so exciting. And even for us, you know, when I go into those camera runs and you go, oh, there's Angellica. I'm like, there's something about it. It's incredible. Yeah. It's an incredible setup. The house, the cameras, the edits running 24 hours. It's really something. Yeah. It's really
the first time you see that gallery. Actually.
Yeah, the gallery is like.
Oh, when you, and because you see it on the back of the set now, when you go in and watch all the cameras on the house. How many cameras?
I was going to say, how many are there? Hundreds, surely.
80 odd, I think.
Yeah, so you've got 80 screens, you can see everything. Honestly, it's incredible. It's really exciting.
It's almost like a year-round operation, the whole thing, though, because obviously you have to start casting, and so because of how the house is at the moment, it only takes a few months, but it takes all year round almost to get it on air.
So Phil, don't move.
I'm on Zoom at the moment.
Okay, what's the most unexpected thing about Big Brother, both as producers and as a contestant? That's a great one.
Go on, Angellica.
Oh my gosh! Do you know what your anxiety levels do go up because every day you get up and you don't know what Big Brother is going to throw at you, and it's genuine, you know. And everyone was on. Sometimes people can be on edge not because they're edgy, but because you don't know if it's going to be nomination. You don't know if there's going to be a task. Someone's going to be walking in. I mean, there were times where people were like, oh my gosh, I know today something's going to happen. Something is going to happen. And it would whip up everybody and then it wouldn't happen. And you're just like...
You've been stressed all day.
Just for no reason. But it genuinely is walking on eggshells the whole time because Big Brother sees everything and can do what he likes. Yeah.
Right. Is it weird waking up with all those people around you? I always think that'd be a bit weird.
I just felt like I was on the student. See, I didn't mind it. Some things like that bother people.
Yeah.
But I didn't bother me. I was just like, hey, I'm having respite. This is cool, man. I just literally, for me, it was just shutting off from the routine. So I loved it. And there is something bizarre about not having to get up at a certain time, someone telling you what to do, even if you don't want to do it. You're just like a child. You become almost childlike. And oh my gosh, I mean, I love it. Even now, I'm like smiling. I know the lights. I mean, it was hilarious. I would be laughing. I mean, I'm up in the morning, I'm up at night. So that's annoying for some people. Yeah. So when the lights come on, everyone's tired and they're moaning. I'm like, yeah, come on, what's going on? And, you know, I was ready for it. Bring on the light.
Banging a spoon
on the saucepan. Well, if you think I'm too energetic, you're going to get that.
There's literally... I can't even tell you the amount of unexpected things that have happened over the years. And sometimes I feel like I'm just living in some weird show that someone's just torturing me by calling me in the middle of the night to say something wild's happened. And, you know, one morning I'm just, I'm in the car on the way to work and I hear on the news that David Bowie has died. And I'm like, oh God, we've got Angie in the house. That was unexpected and had a really unexpected series of events happen. I mean, I can never speak of most of them. They're so unexpected.
Oh my gosh.
There's a book in that, isn't there?
Does something happen in the house?
Kill me.
Say like something happens in the house that you didn't know and people, you know.
It certainly does, yeah.
Does that change sometimes what you had planned the next
every
day?
single day.
Yeah.
It's most reactive. The thing is, I've worked on the show for a really long time, since I was 4 in 20. And the joy of it is no series is the same. Like you'd think it'd be very boring to work on a show till the end of time, but you just, you know, you have to react to something. Someone says something, something does something. You know, you change what task you're doing, and it's the only show you can kind of come up with an idea and it's on TV the next night. Because you have to come up with stuff continually and it changes. And that's why for the team are really dynamic, incredibly creative. They're absolutely brilliant, and it's just all entirely reactive. We make a plan, but the plan completely changes.
Yeah, we go in with a plan for what all the games and the challenges are, and then, you know, throw it out or on a daily basis.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I love the dressing up. The dressing up was just amazing. And you made me a TikTok star dancing.
I know, I loved that.
The stress though, because you know what, it was funny, when you gave that task to us about, it was Chesney, Patsy and I had to learn that dancing.
Oh, yeah.
I remember Patsy was going, oh my gosh, we've got to learn this routine, get it down, because one of us could be leaving. I was like, please. I was like, because I thought there's no way one of us going to, but then I started going, well, maybe one of us will be leaving. I need to get these moves right. I have never danced like that before in my life.
What a moment. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. Well, sadly, that's all we've got time for today. Haven't they been absolutely amazing panellists? Let's hear it for our amazing panel. Honestly, absolutely brilliant.
Great.
The journey has been unreal, and I think, you know, as we look to the future of the show, one thing for sure is certain: Big Brother will always be watching. Thank you, Edgar-Jones, Katy, Manley, Natalka, Znak, and Angellica Bell. We love you very much.
Thank you.
And thanks, Ria.
Thank you. Just to let you know, because we're, you know, creative industry, if there's anyone in the room that would like to work on Big Brother, get in touch with the talent team at Banijay. You can contact them at talent@banijayuk.com. I've been Ria Hebden. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of the festival.